Hi Copic in the Craft Room fans, Michelle Houghton here. I have an image by Rubbernecker Stamps. This one is one of their collection of little girls, and I actually know that this one is being retired, and so if you are interested, you need to get on their site and pick up one of the last few. I will tell you though that it's a whole collection of young girls, with some with little animals or some with stuffed friends and some just by themselves, and all are drawn in the similar style. So there's more there if you're interested in like the look of this image. So I'm going to be doing a little no line coloring today, and I'm starting with her skin. There's a lot of detail here. So I'm keeping the image in the black line that I stamped right next to me so that I can see some of those details if I lose them. I am going to start by coloring all of her skin in with E50. I don't think I'm going to lose anything because I'm going to jump all the way to my darkest skin color next, which is going to be an E11. And so I'm trying to get those details in before I lose things. So I'm coming up right underneath the hairline and in from the sides of her face to create that round shape, going to the side of her nose to give that, again, that depth and that shape. Coming in over the eyes and under the eyes as well. Coming down the length of her neck, the underside of both arms, and this is where it's going to get tight. She's got a little tiny hand overlapping her second arm. So some of that, I'm concerned I might lose that, and it has nothing to do with the no line. It's just this very tight detail. E21 is actually my mid-tone. So now what I'm doing is I'm coming back in, I'm starting on the E11, and I'm pulling that into that highlight color. But that, by putting that darker color down first, I've really defined some of my edges, given her kneecaps and stuff like that. E50 is next. It's going to blend those colors together. I have a little funny bit of like bleeding on her face, and I'm not sure if it's because my E50 is super juicy, so it's dropping a lot of extra ink. So I do come back and add a little bit more of that mid-tone, and then I'm going to use a little E93 to add a little bit of a pinkish blush to her cheeks and her smile, really subtle. Be real cautious when you add that smile that the ink is dry underneath or close to dry. I'm going to come back with E11 and try to define those arms and those edges just a little bit more so we can really see that shape so she doesn't look blob-like. And a tiny bit of that E50 again to soften some of those edges. Being careful around her mouth and nose. So next is hair, and I'm actually going to start with her darkest color again. E47. She's got this amazing head of curly hair. You can kind of see that over my right wrist in the black, and I'm not going to catch all those details. I'm just not, but I'm trying to get the effect of that hair. And I can see right now, I can see in the pink ink where those are, and so I'm hitting some of them with that dark E47, but I am going to lose some along the way. There's just no way I'm going to hold on to all of that detail. I have switched to E43, and I'm going in and kind of dabbing or even squiggling that color in over what I've already done. So that's going to soften the E47, but it's also going to take some of that white out, which is really what I'm trying to do with that. The mid-tone for the hair is an E44, and now I'm coming in and I'm trying to reinforce some of what I did with that original E47. So coming back in, darkening up some of that, getting those curls redefined, and then E47 again. Now I'm really focusing in where I'd like it to be darker. Around her face, from her part out, and then that hair right along the nape of her neck that's falling behind her, so it gives a little shape to that kind of big, bold, curly hair. So the kitty cat is next, and I've got a YR21 that I'm starting with, and I'm getting most of him. You'll notice the eyes on both the cat and the girl started with black, and that was a multi-liner, a Copic multi-liner that I laid down first, and I know that will sit solid because it is meant to go with Copic. Then I've got a YR27, and this is what I'm going to add those little tiger stripes on my little cat, and I'm going to frame out those arms. I've got one ear a little bit darker, give some shape to his body, give some definition to the edge of his little hands that are kind of stuck underneath her arms, and then YR27 to soften the areas that are more just line definition, not the tiger stripes, just those line definitions. I come back and I add an E33, and this is kind of an important step because I felt like I wasn't getting that definition between the girl's arms, the cat's arms, and the cat body. So I'm trying to help get that shape in there by using that. Little tiny bit of E93 tucked into that little cat ear, and I'd forgotten the tail, so I'm coming back with that YR21 and YR27, softening that up just a little bit with the YR21 to get that little tail, and some of these edges kind of softening those up as well. E33, I decided I needed to get the sides of the cat a little bit more, kind of round him out, because I felt like he was looking pretty flat. So I'm coming in, make him more cylinder-like, kind of round, give that round shape a little better. Little YR21 and YR27 to the girl's eyes as well, just to add color to the iris of her eyes. A B60 is going to base her little dress, and we see peaks of that on her sleeves and her collar, and then the kind of rolls or folds at the bottom. B63 is the mid-tone. I'm going to define those folds and push some of those back in towards her legs, get the shape and the wrinkles on the sleeves, and shading up around her neck because I know that area will also be a little darker. The last color is a B66. And I know with me, a lot of times as I get going, and this has been quite a while already, I've obviously sped this up, but my eyes start getting a little wonky. So at this point, I'm really slowing my hand down so I can see the edges, slowing it down so I can really blend things carefully. So I'm coming back with my B63 to soften up the edges of the B66. And you're going to see me go back and forth on this one a little bit. I think one of my markers is a little bit dry, and so it does not blend as smoothly as I would like it to. I need to really look at which one. I think it's the B63, but I need to refill that and probably clean it as well and get that blending a little better. I'm going to finish up her shoes with touches of B60 and B63, and then I am going to add her to a card, and I will make sure you guys get to see that here at the end. The other thing that I add that I don't show here, and I don't think it even ends up on the card that you're going to see, is a little bit of a cast shadow underneath her, and I just do that with an N1, a little bit of a neutral gray. I do add some eyebrows in with the E44 as well. So she's got those redefined because that was on the stamp. And I use usually one of the mid or darker hair colors. I always appreciate you guys stopping by to see what I'm up to. If you'd like to see more about my live classes, check me out at www.scrapweaver.com. I just want to give a big thank you to Rubbernecker Stamps for the opportunity to work with their images. They really have some beautiful things. If you have any questions about today's video or any Copic related issues, please don't hesitate to put that in the comments and I will answer right away. Thank you again, and I hope you all have a happy, colorful day.